Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. Well guys, it took me a while but I'm here and I'm back and I'm bringing probably the most anticipated video on this channel, which is the Flutter Uber clone or Flutter Taxi app or Flutter ride sharing app, whatever you want to call it. Here we have it. On this video, I'm going to give you a small overview of what we have here in terms of the application, the features that we have. I will provide you the source code link in the description section, and the last part of the video I will try to explain to you guys, once you get the source code, how do you configure your local machine to get this project working for you. And I'll give you the APKs as well, so if you want to download and test it on your device, you'll have that link in the description section. But before that, a small word from our sponsors. This video was brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is this amazing online learning community where you can have classes on almost every single topic you can imagine, ranging from design, productivity, photography, and even development. Like for example, you can take these Flutter classes on Skillshare, including the very first Flutter class I took in my life, which is this one by Paulo Dashon. Amazing class, and I highly recommend this for Flutter beginners and even intermediate developers. And what's better is that you can access this class free of cost, because the first 1,000 people to sign up to Skillshare using the link in the description will have free access to Skillshare Premium. And even after that, Skillshare is still very affordable because you're paying less than $10 per month on the annual subscription. By doing so, signing up using the link in the description, you'll be supporting the channel. So thank you very much, and thank you Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. So guys, on this first section, I will give you a small overview of the application so that you will know what to expect once you get your source code, right? And as a small side note, I am preparing the full course of this project, both apps, for both the user app and the driver app, and you can pre-order, and that's a promo only for my subscribers because I love you guys. And you can pre-order this course for only $5, but that's only valid for the next 24 hours. So if you're interested, you'll check the link in the description. I had to just put that information in this video. Anyways, let's go to the application. If you can see here, we have two apps, which is the rider app and the drivers app. Here to the left we have our riders app, and here we have our drivers app. We already have the apps connected to Firebase, obviously, and we have all of those authentication, user creation, and all of that. I just don't want to show you guys that because I want to save time, right, and only show you guys what's essential. Starting from the user app, this is what we have on our UI. We have the drivers, the online drivers. You'll see this taxi icons here, and we have this draggable here where you can either select where you want to go or pick from some saved locations. Let's say you already have the home location saved. You don't have to type that every single time. You can just click on home to request a ride home, work, and some recent locations. As you can see here, this is just some placeholders because we still have to configure these things here, but that's a minor. It's already there. And for the driver app, as for now, we have nothing rather than the driver's name, his ratings, and here you can access his profile, right? And log out, obviously. So how does it work? If I click, for example, on, let's say, where to go here, and automatically we'll be able to enter locations. Let me try a location, and this is going to work according to the country you're in. The autocomplete is going to work according to the countries you're living in or you're in at the moment. So I have one destination location selected already, and the second step is to set your pickup location. By default, the pickup location here is going to pick where the user is. Let me zoom in a bit so that you guys can see. Sorry, I had that moving. No worries. And what you can do is you can get the user location, or you can set a custom pickup location. Let's suppose you want to request a ride for someone else. You can just call the taxi or the ride for that location. So we have here, which is my current location, and I'll hit on confirm pickup. And now what it's going to do after you do confirm your pickup is going to tell you how much you're going to pay. Since this is a very small distance, it's only going to be this price here, 69 cents, right? But the price is going to change depending on the distance you're going to travel, obviously. And then you have the option of selecting the payment methods. For the moment, we only have the cash on delivery. So when you click on pay with card, you'll see this information saying that this method is not available yet, right? So the only method that we have here is paying with cash. Obviously, this is one feature that we have to implement on the app, and I'm going to integrate Stripe payments. But again, I just wanted to focus on what's essential for this kind of apps first, and then add other types of features. And when this is done, you just hit request. And here I set a timer on the server side of 100 seconds where we will be requesting, and if no one replies, this request is going to expire. But if you see here on our drivers app, something is going to pop up saying that there's this guy who is looking for a ride. Santos is looking for a ride, right? And this is going to be seen by all of the nearby drivers, and whoever accepts it first is going to be the driver you're going to ride with, right? And if you don't know the location, for example, you can click here just to make sure, and you can see how far it is from where you are. Decide if you want to accept or not, and we want to do it, so let's hit on accept. So what happens once you hit on accept, you have this thing here where we get the driver who did accept, how far he is, and the amount of time here he's going to take to be on your location. For our particular case, it's just going to be a minute because this is a very small distance. And here we have the driver. What's cool about using emulators is that you can just go here and have these routes saved already. So I'll just hit here on play route, and our driver, meaning this device, is going to start moving, and you can see the changes being reflected here on our user device. Right. So in the real world, what would be happening here is that you would be waiting for a driver while you see him moving, right? And because the distance was super small, just to save us a bit of time, you can see here that our driver is at the location, and when that happens, this information is going to be displayed to the rider, and the driver will have the option to start trip on that moment, right? And when they do minimize the apps, don't worry, because we are sending push notifications here. When the applications are minimized, we are sending push notifications. The push notifications are not coming through because the apps are running on the foreground here, right? So let's hit on start ride, for example. Let's do here. And again, sorry, but the user or the driver, they can call each other just to make sure the other person is coming and all of that. And that's already working. So when you hit on start trip, for example, it's going to calculate how much time you're going to take from this location to the destination. And we have 2 minutes here. You can see that we have the information on the driver and on the rider side of the application, and this change is here, which says on trip. And basically here the user will see that the driver started the trip, right? And we have this emergency button here when something happens. You can do this to see the trip details, which is the pickup location, the destination. You still have to update this info, the pickup location, the destination, and the price is going to pay for the ride, and the option of ending the trip. If you go to the driver, we have the same thing, the pickup location, the destination, and the option to terminate the trip, right? So what is going to happen here, and you really do have to be using emulators to have this project working, otherwise it's not going to be possible to test these things out. Nevertheless, here we have our emulators, and what we are going to do is just play here and hit play here, so that we'll have both driver and the rider moving at the same time, right? So what's going to happen here actually is that and if you see here that the driver and the taxi rider seem not to be in the same location, is that I hit play at different times, obviously, but still we have them moving together now to the destination. And what's going to happen here is that when they arrive at the destination, we are going to end the trip, rate the driver, and pay, but the payment is going to be cash payment, so nothing is going to happen on the app actually. And that's a feature we're still going to adding payment methods like card payments, PayPal if possible, and all of that, right? But what I wanted to show you guys is that we have the MVP, and you can really start building from this project, right? Here we are going to attach streams. Once the course is done, I mean, I'll show you guys how to use streams here, providers, cloud functions, and all of that, right? Again, the course is still under production, but that's not a problem, because you can have the source code link in the description. If you don't want to wait for the course, you can just go check the source code, check the APK, do your modifications, and you are free, completely free to use this project. If you want to sell it, if you want to use it for whatever, you're completely free to do that, right? But if you want to have the pre-access for the course only for 24 hours, I'm going to provide that for $5, so you'll be seeing the lessons as I'm building them, right? Just hit the link in the description, $10.com. That's only $5 for the first people to sign up during this 24 hours from the publication of this video. Good. On the next section, I'm going to show you guys, if you get the source code, how would you go about setting these things up so that you can have the project running on your machine, right? But if you're facing any kind of issues with that, no problem, leave a comment in the comment section and we'll try to help you out. Thank you. So guys, in this section I'm going to show you how to set up the project to make sure it does work after you get it from GitHub. On the project level, you'll have to change something for both the driver and the rider apps. The first change you'll want to do is inside of your Android directory, and then you'll open up Android app, then source, and then main. You'll have here your manifest file, and here we have this line where it says your API key here, and here you'll have to insert your API key. Another place that you'll want to have your API key is inside of the lib folder. We have another folder called helpers, and inside of that we have a file called common. Just open up that file, and if you see this constant variable here, this constant value, not constant variable, sorry, this constant value here says your API here, and you'll have to insert your API here as well. And now you may be asking yourself, what API and why do we need it? To use the Google Map services, like getting the routes and getting the distance calculated and all of that, you'll have to have a Google Maps API key, and you'll get that on the Google Cloud Console. It's very simple actually to get that. Just go to your favorite browser. We have here in your window, just type Google Maps API, and the first result that's going to come out is this one. So it's very straightforward actually. What you want to do is create an account if you do not have one, get started, and all of that. They will probably ask you to insert some credit card details here, but they are not going to charge you unless you're using the project on the production phase. So no worries about that. You may or may not have to insert your credit card details to get the key, but it is what it is. After you get this, let's go to the second point. Make sure that this code is going to work with your Firebase project. Actually, I'm considering that you already know how to use Firebase and all of that. And here I'll just give you the structures that you will want to have on your Firebase to make sure that when you connect the source code to your project, everything is going to work just fine. First, you want to make sure that the authentication you have when you create your new Firebase project, you want to make sure that here on authentication, you have the email authentication enabled, right? Because that's how we are going to be able to sign in or sign up using our email and password. That's a must. And then your cloud functions, actually Cloud Firestore, not Cloud Functions, you're going to have 3 collections. For the moment, we only have these 3 collections, and obviously as the features of the app increase, we are going to have more, but for now you only need this: the drivers, requests, and users. And drivers is basically the list of drivers and the details we are going to store about the drivers. And here is how it is structured on the Firebase platform. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to extract this, I guess, here using Cloud Firestore. But if we were using real-time database, I could get the structure. But it's basically this. I don't know if you guys can see. You need the card, email, ID, name, and all of these details. The phone number, that's how we call the driver, the photo, right? And all of this. But what's good is that all of this code is already structured inside of the app, so you do not have to come and replicate all of this, right? You just go ahead and get the project connected to Firebase, get the Google Maps API. And for the Cloud Firestore, you just have to enable that for your Firebase project, and the data is going to be sent just like this, because our Flutter project is already configured to work like this, right? So here, make sure you have your email sign in and sign up enabled. You have Cloud Firestore enabled. You have storage enabled as well, because that's how we are getting these images here, the profile images. They are stored on Firebase. And one last point, you must have your cloud functions enabled. This is how we are going to send push notifications. We have a lot of push notifications going on here. You need cloud functions, right? Now, if you don't know how to use cloud functions, I will leave the link in a link in the description for this playlist here. And this is everything you need to know actually to get started with cloud functions, right? So if you never used cloud functions, you don't know what they are, you will come here and watch these videos and you're going to learn a lot. I'll leave the link in the description section, and I leave another link on how to use push notifications on Flutter, or how to configure, because you may need to do that, right? And I do understand that there's a bit of work, and it's a bit complex to make everything work for your project. That's why on the GitHub I'll try to give all of this information in details, hoping that you guys will be able to configure your projects for your own and make them work, right? But here, the only thing you're going to need after you enabled everything you have to enable on Firebase is to download your Google services.json, right? And to do that is easy. We just go to settings here and project settings. If you have connected your project here, you can download your Google services from here, or you can download this while registering the app you just created. If you know how to connect your app to Firebase, probably you know what I'm talking about. You just have to get the Google services.json, and come back to your Flutter application, both the rider and the driver app, and basically change this, because this points to my own project. If you want to point to yours, you'll have to delete this here and point it to your project. This is what you want to do, right? I know it was a bit complex, and I'm not sure if you guys are going to understand how to connect everything together. Nevertheless, I'll upload the source code along with the APK. So if you just want to test it out to see how it works, you're going to have the APK. You can download that on your mobile phone and install it and check it out. And again, as I was saying, I have the link for the early access on the course. Is only $5 for the next 24 hours, and that's a major discount I'm giving to you guys. If you're interested, go and check that out. Again, the course is not complete yet. The course is not complete yet. I'm building the course, but if you want to be able to check the videos and learn while I'm building the course, it's going to cost you only $5, right? But after that, I don't know, because after the 24 hours, obviously the price is going to change. I don't know if I'll be accepting early access. I don't know what's going to happen. So if you want to check it out, if you want to be able to be learning this right now, just go and do that. If you feel like you can understand the whole project just by using the free source code, feel free to do that. You can go and access that on GitHub and get everything working. And I will leave the link for the cloud functions I've used on this project as well, because I had to build some functions using TypeScript. That's what I was saying. It was not that easy to make this project work, but yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. And if you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, and see you guys on the next one. Bye.